Alright, so this is going to be another movie review. This one's called The Good Guys and the Bad Guys. The Good Guys and the Bad Guys. 1969. This is going to be another Western with Robert Mitchum, John Carradine, his son David. George Kennedy is also in this, who died recently. So it's got two of the busiest actors of all time. Actually, three of the busiest actors of all time. Two Carradines and George Kennedy. Plus it's got Robert Mitchum, who of course plays the sheriff, whatever his name is. Forgot his name already. James Flagg, Marshall Flagg. So, like I said, this is going to be another extended version of Gunsmoke, although it does have some pretty corny comedy moments, which make the movie actually better than, say, Young Billy Young or whatever that movie was that I saw with Robert Mitchum, the Western that was made about the same year. Very low budget. So I guess this director was pumping out Westerns with Robert Mitchum. Two in the same year. Unfortunately, John Carradine got only a bit part in this one, but he's pretty funny. He's a great actor. I'm a big fan. So I give this movie 3 out of 5 stars. I thought it was okay. The comedy is what really did it for me. My mom laughed more than I did, actually. But it was really cheesy comedy. It's rated PG, so it's not too dirty, but although they do put prostitutes and off-screen nudity on there. Whatever they could get away with for a PG rating. But basically it's about this old marshal guy played by Robert Mitchum, James Flagg character. He's marshal for this town called Prospect. He predicts that there's going to be a train robbery, and the corrupt, inept mayor, who's another great actor, by the way, is also in The Killing, I think. No, not The Killing, but he's in a bunch of other movies. I forget. You recognize a lot of the faces in this because they use a lot of actors who have been in like hundreds of other things, either television or film or both. So that was pretty cool. My mom even recognized the older kind of prostitute lady. She said, "Oh, she's famous." So I'm in paradise. My mom's getting the mail right now, but getting back to the story, Robert Mitchum predicts that this guy John McKay, played by the late great George Kennedy, he's going to rob a train on its way to Prospect. When it stops at Prospect, that's when the train robbery is supposed to occur. The corrupt inept mayor doesn't believe him. The mayor retires Robert Mitchum, James Flagg, from being a marshal, and he appoints some Keystone cop guy, marshal, younger guy. So the younger guy fails. Flagg captures McKay. McKay kind of reforms a little bit. When McKay goes over after the bad guys, the younger guys, David Carradine's group of hoodlums. They sort of team up, Mitchum and Kennedy, to stop the train robbery. The ending was kind of interesting, a little plot twist ending. It's kind of cool. The music was kind of good. It kind of reminded me of the Hobbit theme song. For some reason, I don't know if it's the same guy, but it reminded me of the theme song for the opening of the Hobbit, the cartoon movie from, I guess, late 70s. I don't remember when that movie came out. I used to love that movie when I was a kid, by the way. It didn't scare me for some reason. I guess because it was a cartoon. Anyways, I used to love that and the Lord of the Rings cartoon movie. I don't know. There's just something about it that intrigued me. Pretty good movie all around. I thought it was kind of slow at times. Some of the jokes were a little too corny for me, but my mother enjoyed the goofiness. She said it was clean fun. So I'm glad she liked it. I guess it's a good family movie in that respect. I mean, it is, after all, PG. I'll watch Good Dart next. I'm almost afraid to watch it with my mom, but there's nothing better to do here, other than playing board games and waiting for church. So that's the end of my review. I thought it could have been better. I thought it was better than Young Billy Young or whatever the other movie this director made the same year with Robert Mitchum. But I thought it was definitely better than that. Still was a little slow. The thing that really saved it from being a poor movie or a bad movie was the acting, especially from John Carradine. I think his acting in this is the best by far. George Kennedy is pretty good also. Robert Mitchum is kind of, I don't know, by this time he's in the Lee Majors School of Acting, or the John Claude Van Damme School of Acting. Kind of a monotone, emotionless kind of robot character working for the government. David Carradine is pretty good. I have to say the strong points are George Kennedy and John Carradine. There are other actors that you recognize that are really strong too. I think the character, what's his name? I'm trying to think. Who else? Douglas Fowley, the guy who plays Grundy. He's also great in this one. Kind of goofy, black comedy type stuff, which is good. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it does get rather tiresome after a while. People falling out of wagons and wagons crashing and stuff. So it takes place around the turn of the century. You see some cars mixed up with horse and buggy, that kind of stuff. I don't know what Robert Mitchum is doing in that house with that lady. I guess he's a boarder. She's literally bored of her husband because he's never around and he's going off with prostitutes and stuff. So I guess Robert Mitchum is kind of like the father figure, kind of like a pretend stepdad to this lady who's essentially a single mom with her son. So that was kind of interesting. Not too sure what that was all about, but I felt like that wasn't developed. That part wasn't developed enough. Anyways, that's in my review later.